I'm Rick Mitchell, and I was the athletic director here at Paw Paw High School for 26 years, and I also coached basketball, boys and girls, for probably a total of 20 years. When I found out I was nominated for this great award, I was just dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. I was very excited and very happy to receive this award. Some of the inspirations for me to become a coach was just my parents. They always encouraged us boys, me and my two brothers, to get involved in athletics and sports. I played football, basketball, baseball, and loved athletics, and they never missed one of our sporting events. It really pushed me to become the best I could in athletics, and luckily I had an older brother. He would challenge me all the time and push me to be better and better, and that's how I got the love for athletics. That's how I got started. One of the fun stories from my career happened in girls basketball. A good team I had in 1994 ended up going undefeated during the season. They were 20-0. They got beaten districts, but they were all juniors. They came back the next year, and they went 20-0 during the season, ended up 26-1, and made it to the state finals and got beat by Country Day. I don't know if you know Mick McKay, but he was a big sports writer for the Detroit Free Press, and after the game he interviewed me. I said, yeah, you know, it's tough being a public school and playing against a private school who gets the best players all over the state. You know, it's hard to compete with that. And I said, it's a shame they don't have two separate state champions. Well, next day in the Detroit Free Press, there was a big article, probably a page long, and I probably had 100 phone calls from that article by saying there should be a private school in the state. And the MHA even got a hold of me and talked to me about it. I found that quite hilarious. I can tell you a fun story about one of my boys' teams. It was in 2000, and we won a district championship, but we were 20-6 or something like that. We didn't win the league. We had a real good season. We had a good team. And in Madawan, at that time, we played them twice during the season, and they were Class B at the time. So anyhow, they're rated number 1 in the state, and we're playing them. And the districts are here at home at Paw Paw. They had Lurkey 6'9". They had Noah Heron, who played for the Green Bay Packers. He was a real good guard. They had a real good team. We worked for a week on, hey, that big guy doesn't come through the middle without bumping him, pushing him, block him out on every shot. Well, we ended up upsetting that team, and we beat them and got to go to regionals. Well, the coach from that team was Dan Hoff, who's a good friend of mine. And at the time, we had a family restaurant in Paw Paw for 70 years. It was called Gene Mitchell's. And I worked there a lot, and I bartended. Mr. Dan Hoff goes, I can't believe I got beat by a bartender. And that was a funny thing, because they were rated number 1 in the state, and we upset them, and they were 21 or 22-0 going into that game, and that was a great victory for us. Some advice I'd have for new coaches is, first of all, you got to love what you're doing. Basketball for me was such a love that I would have done it for free. You wouldn't have had to pay me, because that's how much I love the sport, and I wanted to help other kids do the things that I've done in basketball. By working with kids in athletics, it's just such an honor, because you feel like you had something to do with them to be successful, and it means a lot to you. I had a lot of coaches that I looked up to through the years. My coach in boys basketball was Dave Anderson. He was an All-American at Western Michigan University, a very good player. Don Moorhead was Bo Schembechler's first quarterback at Michigan. And Dave Wasink, he was a great coach at Kalamazoo Central, won some state championships. Jim Cody, Lawrence won some state championships in football. I always like to pick guys that have been there, done it, pick their brains, and ask for advice. And I think that helped me become a better coach and a better person, because it taught me to listen to somebody who's been there, done it. So I really want to say a big thank you to my brothers, the ADs, and Gary Ellis. He's the glue that holds the Wolverine Conference together, and he put so much time into making this one of the best leagues in southwestern Michigan. Gary Ellis, thank you for everything you've done, not just for the league, but also for me and everybody around, because you are an awesome person. I really want a big thank you to my wife, and for her sticking by me and supporting me in everything I've done. I really appreciate that, and thank you very much, my wife Sherry, and my two boys, my older boys that had to live in a gym because Dad was always there coaching or be at a sporting event. I thank them. I thank my two daughters who, to this day, have supported Dad for everything I've done. You know, without family, it's just not as important. But with family and the support you get, it's just so real and so helpful that it makes you even work harder because you're trying to show them that, hey, all this work I put in has helped, and I really appreciate it.